The ARCA race officially concluded from Daytona International Speedway, and Brendan Butterbean Queen picks up his first career ARCA win in one of the biggest disasters in ARCA history. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the ARCA race from Daytona International Speedway. We have quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. Normally, I don't do ARCA reviews on the channel, but I got to talk about this race. Before I get to the negative side of things, which there's a lot of negatives that I want to get off my chest, we want to begin with the positives. The guy who won the race, Brendan Butterbean Queen. You think about Butterbean Queen, right? Last year, ran a select few races with Tricon Garage and put together a really strong performances. Got a top 5 in his Truck Series debut at North Wilkesboro and looked really, really good. He gets this opportunity with the Pinnacle Racing Group, a team that was really strong last year, winning a lot of races with Connor Zilisch and getting a win or two with Connor Mosack last year. They put together a strong season last year, and I thought going into this year that Butterbean Queen was going to be really strong. But I was not expecting Brendan Butterbean Queen in his first ARCA start with this team to go to victory lane. I am so happy for this guy. He's worked his butt off for a long time to get these chances and opportunities, and it's a well-earned, a well-deserved win for Butterbean. He had one of the few cars that wasn't damaged in this race for whatever reason, did a great job to survive all the carnage, made the right moves, made the pass with a few laps to go, and hung on to the lead with a few laps left and picked up the win and victory here at Daytona. I'm really happy for Brendan. He did an incredible job today, a absolutely well-deserved, and congratulations to him on picking up his first career ARCA win at Daytona International Speedway. So that's the positive out of it. There's actually got a couple other positives as well. William Swalch got second, so a good day for him. Jason Kissmiller got a top 5 in third place. Solid run for him today. LeVar Scott got fourth. Elio Castroneves got a top 5. He got a top 5 and still got crashed after the checker flag. Elliott was involved in multiple incidents and multiple wrecks in today's race and still comes home with a top 5 finish. Great run for Elio to come back and get himself a top 5. He was in second coming to the white flag. They kind of tried to move him out of the way on the last lap of the race. He got dumped after the checker flag by AJ Moy for whatever God knows reason why, but he comes home with a top 5. A solid night for him and a really, really good day. Cole Rask, top 10 and 6, good run for him. AJ Moyer, who dumped Elio, finished 7th. Andy Jankowiak got caught up in multiple incidents and wrecks. He finished 8th today. 9th place finisher Ryan Relay and Bryce Hogberg finished in 10th position. And now let's talk about the race and the negative of this race. Look, I don't cover ARCA much on this channel. I remember watching the ARCA race last year at Daytona, and it was a complete disaster. This one was worse than last year's race. Yes, sure, last year did have more car crashes. I think it actually almost had more cautions last year than this one, but they were wrecking from the beginning in this race, and this race was just a complete disaster for ARCA. I don't know what needs to be done about the Super Speedway racing and the Super Speedway package for ARCA, because every time with the ARCA racing and Super Speedways, it's either follow the leader, follow the train on the bottom of the racetrack, and have a guy lead every single lap like Jake Finch did last year at Talladega, or you're going to have a bunch of wrecks and a bunch of incidents because the cars are completely unstable. It started on lap number 4 when Cody Dennison crashed off the front straightaway, taking out a ton of cars. Elio Castroneves got caught up in that. Catherine Lay got caught up in that wreck, and multiple other drivers got caught up in the wreck. Not even 5 laps later, another caution comes out. Amber Balkin loses it off of turn number 4, collects Cletus McFarland, a.k.a. Garrett Mitchell, and I believe also Kyle Steckley, teammate of Garrett Mitchell, got caught up in that wreck. We go back green again. A few laps later, another caution. Amber Balkin has a flat tire, comes down the racetrack, collects Craig Bracken, who's unfortunately went to the hospital. Tough break there. And then other people got collected, like Cletus McFarland, whose day was over, and Takuma Koga got collected. First thing I want to say, hope Craig Bracken is all right. Really unfortunate. He got multiple really bad wrecks and big incidents and got caught up in that wreck and took a ton of hits there. People were using ARCA brakes there, unfortunately. I hope Craig's okay. That was a really, really scary wreck. And then it continued on. Another crash a few laps later for Brayton Laster, who had a flat tire and just went straight into the outside wall. Then we had another caution for Scott Melton. And then I believe Jake Finch or someone behind him got caught up in the incident and wreck, bringing out the caution. Actually, Elio Castroneves got caught up in the wreck and got damaged. But still, Elio continued on. And then we had the caution, another yellow for the big one on the backstretch again. Isabel Robusto gets turned by Jeff Schofield. That collects Lawless Allen, who had one of the dominant cars early in this race, and collects, I think, another driver involved. Isabel Robusto day is pretty much over. Corey Day gets collected in the wreck. Tough day for Corey, who's actually running in the top 10 a ton of this race. His day would come to an end. So you think after the ARCA break and that crash, we're going to be done wrecking, right? Nope, we're still wrecking. 15 laps ago, another crash happens when Tim Richmond and Jake Finch crash as they go side by side, which they should have stayed single file at this point, and they're still freaking wrecking. And then we go back green, and we have another caution. I think we go back green, and we continue racing single file. They all start making moves. There's almost some big wrecks at the end. Brendan Butterby Queen makes a move to the outside and gets the race lead and picks up the win. Elliott comes home with a top 5 despite wrecking after the checker flag. This race was one of the worst ARCA races that I've ever seen in my entire life, and one of the worst races I have seen in my life. No, it's not as bad as the 2008 Brickyard 400 or even some of the other races I've seen in the past. But good Lord, this race was absolutely horrendous. I don't know what needs to be done about the ARCA Super Speedway package, but something has got to be done because it's ridiculous. It's so bad. How we can have so many wrecks, so much carnage, and so many incidents that are just completely unnecessary. From drivers losing it off of turn number 4, like the truck race last night, to other drivers just running into each other in avoidable wrecks that didn't need to happen. From people bump drafting down the back straightaway with 1 lap to go before they're going to call the halfway break. What are we doing here, guys? What are we seriously doing? Like, come on. Can we actually put on a good show for once in our lives and stop having Carnage Fest? Please, for the love of God, can we just stop with the wrecking, stop with the incidents? I gotta say, the other big highlight for me, though, Cletus McFarland being on the broadcast, he was actually really entertaining to listen to, and he's gonna run Talladega, it sounds like, which I think that's gonna be fun. He actually was doing a really good job for getting caught up in incidents and wrecks. There's some people who just should not be out there on the racetrack. There's some people that just need to get off the track, in my opinion, because there was so much unnecessary wrecks. There were like 28 cars out of the 40 cars that started that got caught up in a wreck, and only like 4 cars didn't have any sort of damage in this race. We ran almost half the race under caution. I think we actually ran more laps under yellow than we ran under green. Like, we've got to do better than this. We can't be having wrecks and incidents every single time we have races at Daytona. And I enjoy ARCA. I really, really do. And I used to think Super Speed Race in ARCA was really good. 2 years ago, for instance, the race that Greg Van Alst won, that was one of the best ARCA races I saw at Daytona International Speedway. It was a really good race a couple years ago. But my God, the last 2 races at Daytona have not been really, really good. And there's got to start being some questions about Super Speedway racing at ARCA. I get that you want to get these guys and gals the opportunity to get experience on the racetrack. Fine, that's understandable. I think we get that. We understand that. But we've got to figure out a better solution to this because there's no reason for all the carnage we saw today. There shouldn't have been as many wrecks. It's understandable if there's like 1 or 2 big wrecks. That's normal for a Super Speedway race. But when you have 7 or 8 cautions in this race and you run nearly half the race under caution, I'm sorry, that's just a bad race overall. It's not a good race for ARCA. It wasn't a good race today. It was one of the biggest embarrassments I've seen from the ARCA series that I've probably ever watched. I really hope some of this stuff gets cleaned up going forward because, again, this race was just not good. It was a terrible race as a whole, and it was one of the worst races I've ever seen as a race fan in my entire life. And the broadcast today didn't help either. By the way, can I just mention this? A full-screen commercial with 8 laps to go from Fox. On main Fox, by the way. What are we doing here, Fox? Why couldn't you at least go side by side? If you've gone side by side, at least I've been giving you the credit there. A full-screen commercial with 8 laps to go. What are we doing here? Why a full-screen commercial? That's uncalled for. That's unnecessary. You don't need a full-screen commercial with less than 10 laps to go in the race. The broadcast was terrible today. So many full-screen commercials. So many things they're focusing on. Missing wrecks. Missing all that stuff. I'm just frustrated with Fox. The truck broadcast was terrible yesterday, and this one was worse. And Jamie Little, I like her as a pit reporter. She does a really good job on pit road, but good Lord, she is not a good lead commentator. Can we please get Eric Brennan in the booth, for the love of God? Or get Brock Beard in the booth. I listened to his commentary of the truck race. He wasn't perfect, but good Lord, he sounded much better than Jamie Little. So please put him in the booth, and please, for the love of God, clean up the racing in ARCA. Again, though, congratulations to Brennan. That's actually one of the few good positives of the race. At least a good winner won. We'll see if he keeps the win because we've seen the 2 drivers have actually taken the checker flag, not win the race so far. Because Park Clearman got disqualified last night, and we thought that Eric Jones won the duel, and they gave the win to Austin Cindric. So we'll see what happens in about an hour after tech is confirmed. But again, congratulations to Brendan Butterby Queen on winning one of the biggest disasters in ARCA we've seen in a long time. So, that is going to be it for the ARCA race review from Daytona International Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about the ARCA race at Daytona? Let me your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Brendan Butterbean Queen on picking up the victory. Let me your thoughts in the comments below. Later tonight on the channel, we're going to have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from Daytona International Speedway. Then Sunday morning, we're going to have the starting lineup video for the Daytona 500. We'll have the review for the Daytona 500. If Shane Van Gisbergen survives a lot of the wrecks and incidents, there should be a video coming around him. We're going to talk about people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson was on the pit box for Corey Day, by the way. Gray Biffle was on the box as well. Max Pappas I saw as well. Cletus McFarland, Matt Benedetto, Donald Trump, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed over the next couple days, Carson Quaffle, Junior Motorsports, Connor Zillich, Eric Omroll, Chandler Smith, all those good people will be talking about on the channel really, really soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR and ARCA coverage on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.